Hi everyone. We are actually in Forked River, New Jersey, and we're filming from the Captain's Cottage Bed and Breakfast right across the street from the Captain's Inn. Yesterday was our big event, our book launch and fundraiser, and it was better than I even expected. Everything went smoothly. The mayor came, all my kids were there, my grandkids, my mom was there, thank God, friends, and it was just a magnificent day. And here I am so happy to say that my illustrator, Tatiana Hubich, is here, and I am ecstatic. This is a dream come true. And I just want to say welcome to America. They came from Belarus, and that was a long way.
Yes, and this is my dream is also come true.
Oh,
in many ways.
Oh, I know. So we've been working for how many years? Over 3, right?
Oh yes.
It's at least over 3 years.
3 years.
Yes, every single day.
Yes.
It was 7 days a week. And I'm sorry that I drove you crazy.
Sometimes it's possible.
I know. So let's start from the beginning. So I was on Fiverr and I heard that there, are illustrators there. So it took me months, and I went through so many different, what do you call it, people or illustrators, and I didn't really connect with anybody, even just by looking at them in a picture. And then I came across, actually, I don't know if it was Kathy, maybe Kathy. She's the one who put the book together, and thank God for Kathy. She did a wonderful job. I wish she could have made it yesterday, but she couldn't. And so us 3 were a really good team, and we really were a good team, because she put it together. My vision. She put it together, and it came out fabulous, really, at the end. But anyway, so she sent people to me to check out, and I checked out people. And as soon as I saw your picture, I'm telling you, it was like, wow! It was like magic. And I looked, and it took me like 3 days to reach out to you, because I had to make sure. Yeah. And I think the first time I reached out and I said, can you do a cover? Can you just do the cover? And then you did it so well, even though it took a year of tweaking. I'm so sorry. To finish. It really did. Oh my God. I just reached out to you, and it was great timing because you moved to Turkey at the time. Yes. And so you got a job, and I got an illustrator, and we worked together for years. And I'm just so grateful. So we're 8 hours difference, okay, in America, and she's 8 hours ahead. Yeah. And so I work 24/7 because I wanted this book done. And she couldn't even believe it. She's like, don't you ever sleep? I'm like, I don't really sleep because my mom, who has dementia, she would only sleep for like 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. So I was up all the time. And I'm like, I might as well write a book. I'm up. So I always wanted to write a book. And sure enough, I did. I sat down first, but even before I met you, and I wrote my story. It was like 187 pages, and I had to do my work first. That took like a whole year. I had to do my work first to chop it down to a reasonable story that children could relate to. And when you chop it down, it's not as easy as you may think, because everything has to make sense. Everything has to make sense. The story has to flow. And I used to drive, actually, what I would do is, when I had a vision and they chopped it down, I would always send it to my kids. It was a group test. Does this does this sound better? How about this? How about that? For like a year, maybe even every day. And they never said, Mom. They were like, oh, this sounds better. That's okay. And so yeah, that went for a year. So as I was chopping it down for 167 pages, then it went down to, I think it was like 127. Then it went down and down and down. It's down to 47 pages, which is a miracle, and it all flows. But Anyway, let's talk about the illustrations. And I'm very sorry, but I think I might have driven you a little crazy because I'm a perfectionist.
Yes.
But so let's get back to when I saw you and I saw the work that you did. I don't know, I just felt a connection. And my vision for this book and the way the people should look was not her style. Your style was more like whimsical and,
Yes.
you know, flowy arms and
Yes.
just like that. And I was like, well, let me put her to the challenge and see if she could take my vision and make it with your work, right?
Yes.
And so anyway, there you started it, and it was started out as the whimsical.
And every your messages was like, oh my God, what else? Just small fiction and 25.
500.
500 yes fixes.
I'm sorry.
But it was okay. It's like, okay, and start to working.
Yes, she would wake up in the morning and she'd be like all panicked and everything. Oh God, what does she want to do now? Because your signature is with the eyes.
Yes.
If you look at the book, that's your signature. And I love that you have a signature mark. And that is your mark, the eyes. And
Yes.
I was so picky, literally, how she made the eyes, the circle, it should be bigger or smaller. The dots, I'm like, can you move it up down to the right? You know, the fingers at the end, can you make them like this? That pinky is a little, I mean,
small line, and sometimes how she see it, how she did see it.
I know, like blowing it
I
up.
was
and-
thinking you with microscope, like watching and find some mistakes like this.
But I did, I promise you, I'm like, you know, and I was just so happy that you just made my vision come to life, even the little tiniest little details. I mean, I would send you pictures in different shots of my mom's house.
Yes.
And I don't know, it was like meant to be that I took all these pictures in different shots, and you made everything to a T. The picture, the hairbrush, oh my God, my mom's rollers. Remember, I was
Yes,
sending you
yes.
rollers and the pins, and everything was like authentic. I'm talking everything. The kitchen is down to a T. The shelves, everything on the shelves. How about the living room, when you walked into my mom's house, the color of the couch, that square coffee table with the toys in it.
Yes.
She made the toys exactly what was in the drawer. She drew the toys. Can you believe it? Exact. I was just, I was so grateful. I'm not going to start getting emotional, but I was so grateful that you know, you made my vision come to life. So, did you enjoy the process, or?
No, of course I was enjoyed. This is really, it's like also was, how in English?
You said
It's some challenge for me also.
That's good.
To do in a different style, to do all this line which I don't see, and do exactly everything like in a photo, because I was never here, but I should to understand how it's everything looking. But it was interesting, really.
It was,
And I so happy to see this.
I know.
work.
Oh my
And
God.
so happy to
happy.
be here.
In America, and I'm gonna tell you this story. So, you know, we went through, imagine, over 3 years, almost 4 years. We went through a lot: weddings, babies, all kinds of things, war. I mean, there was like so many different things on both ends of the country that we became like friends. Even though we never met each other, we just really care so much about each other that we were good for each other at the time in our
I want
lives.
to tell that when I was in Turkey, you remember I had a very difficult period in my life, and you was like a real, my psychologist, like a friend with who I can speak, and you say me very good things which
Encourage
yes,
you?
yes, yes. So I felt very good. You was like my friend, like my mom. When When I feel bad, I can write you. You write
Cheer
me good
you up?
words. Yes, yes. Really, it was very good.
It was-
on this
it's-
time. And
Sorry.
it's okay. But it was true, really.
Anyway, I'm just so grateful for you, and this book really means everything to me, and you know it.
Yeah, I know.
You know it. So I'm hoping that I make a difference, and we make a difference. I wish we could do a little bit more before you go home to Belarus. I'd like you to sign mostly all the books as much as you can. And the people who buy those books that have our signature on it are lucky, because, how many times is that going to happen?
Yeah.
But, oh my God, maybe we should stop filming.
It's okay. Emotion is good. It's real emotion.
But so anyway, I'm very grateful that you're here, and that you're really here, and I can just touch you and see you. And this has been some kind of journey. Do I want to write another book? People are like, oh, you should write another book. I'm not really sure. It really was very emotional for me. Each picture, each little detail, and Tatiana used to say to me, my dream is to come to America. Here I am. I live in America, and we can go anywhere. But somebody who's from in another country, her dream was to come to America. And I says, don't you worry. Now, we were just from the beginning, 4 years ago almost. And I would say, I promise you, I said, when this book is done, remember?
Yeah.
That I'm going to make our first event here, and we're going to get you here. We're going to get you here to America. And sure enough, I wrote this amazing invitation letter.
Yes.
I did the event. I didn't even plan the event. I just planned the event with Debbie at the Captain's Inn, who, may I say, is a wonderful person. She believes in me. I believe in her. And she was so excited to help me do this event. It was, the love I got was incredible. And I just want to thank her also for believing in me always, from the bottom of my heart. So I'm grateful for everyone who believes in me and believes in my story and my mission and my purpose in life is to make a difference with people who are dealing with this terrible, terrible disease. And the problem is people don't really understand it until they're going through it personally, or in, their family members going, and they actually see it. Because some people, they just don't understand this, and we need to make awareness about this whole situation. But so then when you told me that the invitation letter worked,
Yeah.
and that you could come to America, my goodness, I think I cried for like a month. And I was so happy. And then to pick you up at the airport and to see you in real person, I'm so happy that your husband caught that moment on camera.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And you could see that also on Gramma Has Dementia. And that moment was really special to me. So thank you. I always told you I'm going to get you here, and you're here. And I'm hoping that you have had so far a great time. Yeah. I want to take you all over as much as I can. We could go to New York City, and we could sightsee and do as much as we can while you're here. And I want you to leave with a full heart, and I would love for you to come back again. But right now, we have some time, and we're going to do as much as we can together. And I'm just looking forward to it. And I remember though, like, I have to say, when you used to wake up and see my bling bling, my message,
Yes.
you were like, oh my God. And then sometimes you'd be like, I think I might be a terrible illustrator because you're so picky. And then you told me, and I didn't even realize it, that you are more of an illustrator that does, the word you used was dirty, that you just, and I'm more like
Yes,
more.
you need to, all lines should be perfect.
Perfect. Oh my God. Can you make the head smaller? Can you make the hair bigger? Oh, that's too puffy. Oh my God. That I did in every page. Just alone for the cover was a year. A year. We could show you different styles, and but yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing. Oh,
It is that.
what? I think I want to go sit by. Oh, look at I love you. So happy that you're here.
Yes,
I finally get to meet you. Did you have a good time yesterday?
Хорошо всё?
Yes, a good time. Oh, that's
She was
so
happy.
nice. She was happy.
Yes.
Oh, good.
She was a star also.
She was a star. You were a
Then
star. Yes, you were. She was great. It was a really magical day,
Yes.
and I hope you enjoyed it. And
Yes.
this is an honor of like us, and it was just, it fell out on International Women's Day of all days, which is like magnificent. I wish I had more time to shout out all the women out there on International Women's Day, and all, you guys are incredible, and stay powerful, stay true to yourself, believe in yourself, because sometimes, and always have your own back, because sometimes that's all you have, sometimes that's all you have is having your own back. And I'm just so grateful for everything that took place, every little thing, even no sleep for 4 years. And it's the truth. Like, she could tell you. I mean, she would text me. Now, we're in America. She's up for the day, and she'd be like 2 in the morning. And she would think I would answer this, like, later on. And I would answer her right back, And she's like, oh my gosh, when are you ever asleep? I'm like, we're going to get this book done. Don't you worry. But yeah, it was an incredible, and I'm so glad I got to do this journey with you.
Me too.
I am. I really, really am so happy that you're here.
Yes.
And and so here's a lovely book. Look at how beautiful this is. I mean, I can't even say enough about this Gramma Has Dementia book. We're going to make a difference. Everybody who reads it is absolutely, I mean, what the mayor came up to me, the mayor of my town, and he's like, I read your book. He goes, it literally made me cry. I mean, for like people to come up to me and say it resonated with my family member and it made them cry. Like, everybody, I don't mean to make you cry, but I wanted to touch your heart when you read this, and when you see these pictures are just incredible. And just know these are actual pictures, including like my car, including back in the day, when I drove it. And then so then we have I mean, look at all just the details. Wait till you see. We're gonna just flip through fast. We have a message from me, which is an incredible message. I dedicate this book, and then we start with the book. All right. Now this is, look at these illustrations. I mean, the detail on it is just incredible. And even if you get this book, okay, and you have a child who's younger, you can even make your own story up. Like, remember how we go into grandma's house and even say, and if they're really young, like I have young grandchildren, but we make up our own story, so, because they're not going to sit with all the words. Even though there's not many on a page, I'll say, oh, how many dogs are there? Or where's the baseball bat? Or, how about the hat? And there's so many things in the picture that you could. It's almost like that find a so and so. And I just absolutely love this book. Everything is absolutely true. I remember going down to taking a ride, and then we would see my mom's street. And the kids all the ways down to my mom's house would be like, "We're almost at Grandma's house. We're almost at," and this is in the book, how we're almost at Grandma's house. So that would be fun when you read it, and then the kids would repeat that too, and here I am. They drove me crazy because it was like a 2-hour drive, and they'd be singing and dogs, and this is like a true scene. And then my mom, when we arrive, and they'd be like, "Don't beep, don't beep," and we wouldn't beep. For some reason, she'd either be waiting out the window or waiting by the door. And this is like a true scene. And then we'd walk into the living room, and my goodness, this is the exact color of the couch with the actual table. And in this table were little toys that when my kids came, they played with. And these are the actual toys that she drew. I don't even know how I had a picture of that. She drew all the toys. I'm like, oh my gosh, she drew the toys, exactly. And then we flip around, and here's my mom making pizza, and she always made. My mother cooked like it was like the last dinner you're gonna have, and everything's actual, even the shelves, so all the things on the shelves. When I tell you, I can't even believe how actual this is. It's blows my mind. And this is us, and there's my mom serving birthday cakes and all kinds of stuff, and this is my mom's actual living room, and the furniture and the pictures, and it's just incredible. I had these pictures to do this. And then every single party, my mom would hang a piñata, and we would hit it, and it's just, this is the scene. This is the actual scene that it would be. And then at night we'd play games, and this is just, so we're showing you in the beginning how things were, like life was just living, and how everything was fine, and everything was normal, and it's like, okay, see you next month, or see you in the next holiday, and you take everything for granted, that everything's going to be actual, everybody's going to be alive, and everybody is going to have their mind, and you just have to be grateful for every single moment, because you might not get any of these moments again. So you have to make the best of every time you see your family. And then down the street was a park. So this is a really nice, with the kids down there. I included some of my friends. This is Kathy and her mom and dad with the dog, and they look exactly like this. So in honor of Kathy and her late mom and dad, I put them in the book. This is exactly their picture. They look like this. My friend Diane, she came all the ways from, I believe, I don't know if she was in South Carolina, but Virginia. She drove like 5 hours to be here. And she's like, I walk in the door, I'm like, oh my gosh, that her son won The Voice, Huntley. He won The Voice, and she's so busy, and she took the time to come, and she's always shows up, that one, I'll tell you that. It's just incredible. And then I think, oh yeah. And then, this is just amazing how this was my mom's bedroom, and she always laid her clothes out. She was so organized. I mean, she would sometimes even do it 7 days in a row. She was that organized. And these are the actual rollers that she used with the pins in her hair. It's just mind-blowing to see this. And I included, because she always read the paper, like about an hour before bed. And it's just incredible. My mom and dad own a beauty salon in Jackson Heights, Queens. And I contacted them to find out, certain different information. And I put them, this is their honeymoon, and they're reading the paper. You could see in the back this actual scene of them reading the paper. My dad worked for the New York Times, and I couldn't use their logo though. They were like, they didn't really know, you know, maybe the next book they'll let me use the logo once they see how incredible this is, this story. But you know, I made like their grand opening, which is true. When they owned their beauty salon, it was called Martin Lynn's, and that was an incredible honor for my dad to also be in the book. So that's how I included them. But look at how, I mean, wait till you see this and the actual picture. I mean, it's just incredible. So now everything was fine, right? And now we show how things started happening, you know, with my mom. And you know, we'd see signs like instead of a full head of rollers, you know, there would be only 2 rollers in her head. And even my kids would notice, like, where's grandma's, all her clothes, and just little things. And then we would see her spread out all these birthday cards and holiday cards and all over the table, and she would be writing them, I mean, like a year in advance. But let me tell you, my mom knew something wasn't right. She just knew that something was not right with herself, and she never used to complain. She never told anyone. Like she would tell me things, because we talked every day. Like, my mom's my best friend, as you could tell. Since I'm little, I always had a connection with my mom, as long as I could remember. But yeah, she's my best friend, and so they would see her. We would all see her write these cards, and sure enough, we'd always have the card right on, exact on your birthday, on the holiday. And it was just, she's just such a good person. And you know, my mom's house was the house everyone went to, whether it be coffee after, you know, playing volleyball, or on the weekends or holidays, and parties. My mom's house was the house, because, and you'd be like, well, Roz, what can I bring? Nothing, just bring yourself. I have everything, don't you worry. That's how my mom was, always up until the end. She was exactly that way. And, you know, then we started noticing other things where everything that my mom made, you know, things didn't taste right. And I learned that my mom was cooking days and upon days, you know, even a week in advance, and things were like hard, and she just didn't cook like she was normally cooked. And we just knew there was a lot of things that were happening, and it tells you a little bit more. So we had a meeting, and we decided, you know, it's time to bring mom to get checked out, to, you know, check out to see what's going on, to see what's wrong. And so this is another scene where she's getting tested at the doctor's office, and one of them is, usually they always do a clock test, and they make it, you know, they say draw a clock, and they say like draw 10 past 11. That's like one of the things. She was just so confused that she couldn't barely even draw a clock. Like, it was just kind of, the numbers were mixed up, and she just didn't get it right. And then they did other cognitive tests where she wasn't right. And when we got the diagnosis that we believe that your mom has dementia, dementia? Who really knew about dementia? I mean, yes, my grandmother had hardening of the arteries, but that's what they called it back in the day, hardening of the arteries. They didn't call it dementia back then, so I never heard the word dementia. And that was it was over a decade ago. It was probably like 12 years ago that my mom was diagnosed. And so, you know, I remember my kids were like so concerned, because they are so close to my mom, always have been. Well, I was close, so they were raised that way. And I'll never forget, then, we sat down, and I explained to them, you know, about dementia. And I remember one of the questions that they asked was, they said, can we get dementia too? We asked Mom. It usually happens only to older people, she says, so we don't have to worry, you know. And that's something that you should really say kind of to your a child, is that they don't have to worry, because they do get nervous. And then here, I mean, you drew the brain. I was like, can you draw the brain this way and that way? and then put these things and I just tell you, this explains everything in such a kid way that you could really understand what's going on. And then we go even further and look at even Tatiana. Oh my goodness,
Yes,
look at
with Yana.
I just want Tatiana's in the book, Yana's in the book, your dog's in the book. I mean, but you weren't in the book. This was like when this whole entire sketch was all done,
Yes.
and I was like, you were done. You were like, all right, I'm done with that illustration. And I was like, can you be in the book too? Like, we can honor you in the book and your daughter. And you're like, no, that's okay. No, I'm like, I really think that you. So, are you happy that you're in the book? Like,
I think
I'm
I'm happy
happy
that
that
she's
she's
in the book.
yes.
Yeah.
Later, Yana put no. Before only I was with dog,
And then
but after
you put Jan in the
Yana,
book
yes.
too, and I was like, and then I'm like, I don't know how you could fit her, but you sure moved her over, and it was, and and I tried, like even in this scene because I'm born and raised in the Bronx, so I was raised around all different nationalities, religion, color, races, and it was important for me to put different color, religion, races in the park scene. So I hope I captured that in a way that could resonate with everyone, and I'm proud that I did that because dementia, Alzheimer, this whole entire subject is not prejudiced to anyone. Race, religion, color, even, you just don't know. Wherever you live in different parts of the world, like this can happen to anyone. So we need to raise awareness of the situation because not too many people understand it. And I hope that this book is a soft way where we can teach people that you don't have to be scared about this disease, and it's wait till you read it. I'm sorry I made you cry, but if you resonate and understand this, you'll understand this, and it'll touch your heart, and you'll actually be emotional after reading this because it's a lovely, lovely story. I'm not even just saying that because I wrote it, and these are actual pictures. I'm saying it from my heart that you're going to absolutely love it. We go on further about explaining it, how it says it's kind of like, let me see if I could read upside down. It's kind of like playing in a tunnel on the playground, but you can't pop out the other side because something is blocking it. That's like the messages going into the brain, and it's not getting there to say walk, talk, sleep, eat, and that's what happens. So scientists are trying to figure it out, but we haven't found a cure, and I feel like there is a cure. There really is a cure, and I'm doing this in honor of my mom. That's definitely on the high #1 list. All the people who are dealing with dementia, all the people who, like caregivers that are, to have them understand it, because it's not easy taking care of somebody with this illness. It's not as easy as you may think. Taking care of somebody who is, sick and still have their mind, at least they could talk to you and they could tell you what hurts or how they're feeling, or they could make different decisions. When you have dementia, you have to totally be an advocate, 100%. I mean, from everything, how you get up in the morning, dress, think, eat, plan, just everything. It's a total different animal, okay, when you deal with this disease. And so that's the mission. And then what happened was, oh wait, let me just I'm like all twisted here, and this is a nice comfy pillow. So as we went along, we noticed different things, like she was leaving things in the toaster oven, and there was like a smoke-filled kitchen. And then I'll never forget one day, and my mom's a twin, and my Aunt Bunny is still alive. She does not have dementia. She has other things, but she does still have her mind. And she only lived literally up the street. You know how when they saw the street sign and, well, was that Grandma's house? Well, if you go up that street to the end, you make a left and then a right, there was my aunt's house, my Aunt Bunny's house, and my mom got lost for over an hour and a half. So we definitely know, like, pretty much it's time to even take the keys away. It really is. It was time to take the keys away. And sometimes there's like different signs on the car where there's like a little dent that wasn't there. It's like, oh my God, what did she hit? Or little dings that weren't there. We were noticing. And so then we decided, this was like getting top level, that we need to do something. And I'm like, that's it. My mom, you're moving in with me. So that's what we did. We all filled the truck up, and we took my mom to live with us. And then what we did, we put our heads together, and we came up with really good ideas. Like, one of the ideas is to we bought this dementia clock, which is huge. I mean, the date is big, the numbers are big, the time, everything is huge. And my mom used to always ask, question after question, but the main question was, what day is it? What time is it? I'm talking all day. It was like, I almost wanted to put a tape recorder on and be like trying to do other things and put it on and play it for her. But so what I did was came up with another idea, which worked tremendously. You have to do this too, is get a loose leaf, like some kind of book, and the question that she's asking, you write it down, and then you write the answer underneath. And then she would ask me that question, and I would say, Mom, look at the book. What is the answer? And then she would say the answer. And before you know it, keep doing this and keep doing this. She would always get like a routine to look at the book first. So that was a huge help. I'm telling you, that really worked. And the clock works as well. So, when my mom moved into the house, oh my goodness, wait till you see the book, all the curtains. It's like actual. You still have to go and do things like look through a photo album and make fun and ask who this is and keep their brain working, and to recognize different people. This is like a must. You have to do this. You have to keep their minds like what they know, what they're aware of, what they're used to, and that helped too. And one of the great things, we danced in the living room all over the place with her favorite songs. And, in order for you to let's face it, in order for you to get things done, you have to be creative. And the best thing to do is you get a big basket of towels and you get a basket of socks. Don't make them too crazy. Maybe make black socks and white socks or yellow. Don't be all different socks, and have them all unfolded. And the towels, ready, they needed to be folded. She'll be done, and then I would, make her do something else and unfold everything and undo the socks. So she was occupied for a really, really long time. And this is absolutely a must. 100% do that. You could at least clean your bathroom, maybe cook dinner, do a couple things. So that, that is very helpful. And then another thing we should do, and remember when your kids were little, you'd always cut the food up real small so, they wouldn't choke or it could go down easier. And that's what we were doing with my mom. We literally cut her food up smaller because, for choking hazards and that helped too. Always hydrated her, water, drink, Mom, because my mom hates water. Oh my God, she is the worst. So did my grandmother, both of them. I could even do better drinking water, but constantly take a sip. If you have a glass of water and your family member does not like to drink liquids, it doesn't even matter. Take one sip, take a sip, and then throughout the day, you'll see they'll finish that glass. And maybe if they finish it sooner, then you fill it up. But even if it's just a sip at a time, they must be hydrated. It's so important to keep them hydrated. That's definitely a must, is to keep your family member hydrated. Even fruit, watermelon, any kind of fruit, has water in it, and anything you could give them to keep them going. I know it's a lot of work, but it really, really pays off to be consistent. And then she would live here, and then we would make all her favorite dishes, and we would hang piñatas at birthday parties, and then I would curl my mom's hair, and my daughter, we would paint her nails. So everything that she used to do, we did for her. And this is down by the bay where I always pray. And that I made a scene there with the lighthouse in the background. And and I just want to say that it says, Grandma's brain might be different, but her heart is still the same. She may forget a lot of things, but we know that she remembers that she loves us very much. And that's all hugging my mom. And you just captured, I mean, you cannot even believe these illustrations and the expressions. Everything matches. It's incredible. The birds and the lighthouse in the background. Remember, I'm like, can you move it over to the right?
Yes.
I mean, it was just so incredible. Can you make the wing a little higher so the words could fit, and move it over to the left? I mean, it was. I know, but you're happy that it all happened. I said, you're gonna be happy. I promise. I promise. Bear with me. And this is about Meet the Author, and just actual pictures of us. Like you could tell, I was always so close with my mom. She made all my clothes growing up. This was at my daughter's baby shower, and I thought it was appropriate. I don't know. Here's my mom. Here's me. Here's my mom. Here's me. My kids in her kitchen, so you could see the actual kitchen that was drawn in there from years ago. And then we go further. We go further. Oops. Oh, good. Thank you. Meet the family and the actual person and their character, and the house. You could see, the real picture to, my mom and dad, and my dogs and my kids, and it's just. And then my mom. Oh my goodness, she literally wrote by hand. It took a long time. Each word was at least a week. She did it, and then she did another word, and then Kathy made it make sense, and then it says, my wish for you is to live a happy and healthy life filled with lots of love. I love you with all my heart, Grandma Roz. I mean, she did that from her heart, and then I wrote a special thank you, and it's nice, and we went. Remember when we did it?
I remember everything.
Right, the flowers, and remember with the ribbon on the. Can you make it a different color? How about bigger? And I'm sorry. I had a vision, and you made it come to life. You really did, and I am forever grateful for you. I made it through the book pretty good. So all these symbols mean something. Each symbol, the butterfly, the pig, all the colored flowers, and underneath it explains what they mean, and that's really special to read. I have a special message to the caregiver, and I'm going to keep it for you to read it, and you're going to get emotional because it's from me to a caregiver, and it makes a lot of sense. And then here for you is different organizations that can give you help, that can give you free books, free material to read, places to donate, places to get involved. I mean, everything here is listed for you, and it's good to have that as well in the book. And then I wrote a quote that I've been saying this for as long as I can remember. And this was also a great quote for International Women's Day, which I should have read it, but that's okay. I'm reading it now. And it says, believe in yourself. You are amazing. Find the momentum to move forward and have the courage to always be your true self. Always be your true self, really. Don't let anybody make you feel any less than you truly feel about yourself, and keep going. You have a vision, you have a dream. Just keep going. But what else is there? What else is there to do? You have to just keep going, and it will come to life. I take it from me, it will come to life. Like this whole book, it's a dream, it happened. And then I went even further. I figured, let me leave this page out for us to sign. And it's and here, like, think of your visions over the moon and the stars, and this is like a representation of you can do your dream big and make it happen. And then I even went further to get them gold stamped. Like, the first run is gold stamped, okay? And I'll never do that again. And people are like, well, why aren't you going to do the gold stamp ones again? I said, because I want to remember that if you have my book and you have this gold stamp on your book, you bought the first run. And that means so much to me. The second run will be silver, but I'll never do gold stamp again. So get your books while it lasts. And, especially you're going to, hopefully we'll get a bunch of signatures on some book. And then it says in the back, it explains, and it says, family gatherings are always at Grandma's house. She cooks, she bakes, she entertains, and there's always a place at Grandma's table to fit everyone. As time goes by, Grandma starts forgetting how to do things that she has done throughout life with ease. What is happening to Grandma? Based on a true story, Gramma Has Dementia takes a young reader on a journey through time with a mom and her 4 children as they notice changes in their grandma and hear about her diagnosis of dementia. They learn about the brain and come together to figure out ways to do their best to help her. Beautifully illustrated by Tatiana Gopi. Based on reference photos of actual people, places, and events, Gramma Has Dementia shows you that with a lot of love, a family can stay strong and help each other through difficult times. This story encourages you to enjoy every moment you have with your loved one. And please get that message, and I hope it resonates with everyone, because not everybody's going to always be here. And even if you are here, you're not always going to be here. You know what I mean? And people with dementia and Alzheimer's, you understand that when I say that. And I hope that people are like, this doesn't affect me. I don't know about dementia. It can happen to anyone. I remember coming here 9 years ago, and people didn't understand it. My mom would repeat herself, and I always defended her. It would come down sundowning, and we gotta go. When I seen the changes in her face, I always protected her, and I get it. So just always be an advocate for the people that you love, and purchase a book, because before they last.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Thank you.
And you're a star. You're in the book too.
Yes.
You're in the book.
Ты в книжке.
How is that? Cut.